Hello and welcome to a special episode of the Mission TV show. We're recording here at the OCI Leadership Retreat in Cohota Springs, Georgia. And Cohota Springs, or the OCI Leadership Retreat, is where a lot of missionaries come from all over the country and the world, actually, to get together and fellowship with one another, compare notes, get some training and stuff like that. So it's an excellent place to find missionaries that are from outside of America, as well as inside America and places like that. But today we have special guests, Chris and Amy Borcherding, yes, and they are from the Peru Project.
Correct.
And that is located in Peru. Amazing. So what do you guys do down there?
Peru Project is really an extension of the East Peruvian Mission. Basically, we go where the mission can't. And so we have a Bible worker program. They work as lay pastors in their own districts, and they're over their own churches. And they focus on teaching the elders and the other members in the church to go out there and do it. And then they do the work hand in hand to try to spread the gospel into the jungle.
Oh, really?
And then along with that program, we have an aviation program that enables us to not only get them out further and quickly, we can do emergency evacuation flights and civic flights so that we can
build up goodwill. And
exactly.
Okay, so the main work, aside from the flying, do you do the training or just supporting these Bible workers?
Us personally, I'm the local director, pilot, and mechanic, and my wife does bookkeeping in the office, and then we have a local Peruvian pastor that works under the mission, but under us as well. And so we work hand in hand then with the church and our pastor to oversee this whole district.
And we do provide some training for the Bible workers, and also we support them to go out into the field.
Okay. What do you mean by support them? Like
both financially, materials, travel, everything that it takes to do the ministry out in the jungle.
So how big of an area are we talking about?
Roughly 200,000 square miles.
200,000.
The mission is in charge of Loreto and Ucayali, which are two larger eastern provinces.
You've got a map here.
Yeah, the highlighted portion here, the mission is in charge of.
Wait. Isn't this all of Peru?
This is Peru through here, down to the Chile and Bolivian border, over for Brazil, up to Colombia, and then Ecuador.
So everything that's not blue is Brazil. Peru.
Correct.
And you call it a mission?
The East Peruvian Mission of the Adventist Church is actually in charge of this district.
Wow.
But there's mainly one highway that actually enters here, and it comes to Pucallpa, Peru. We're just north of Pucallpa in a village called San Jose. And the mission is in control of churches around the Pucallpa area, and then they have a work down in Atalaya down this way, and then Iquitos, Peru, and then Cabayacocha. The rest is largely unattended because it's so distant. Everything is rivers. There's no roads apart from in the villages themselves.
So this river right through here is
This is the Amazon.
Okay.
The mighty Amazon River meets with the Marañón, which we have a district that's up in here, and then the Ucayali River, which is one of the main tributaries that forms the Amazon. And we've got several districts that work along here, as well as down on the border with Brazil right here, Puerto Breo. We just opened a work last year. And on the Colombia border up here at Estrecho. Areas that are hard to get to. You can't actually get to Puerto Breo by boat. And to get here from Iquitos is an 8-day trip.
8 day.
A lot of the areas here are days by boat.
Wow.
For example, from us here in Pucallpa, there is a small river, the Pisqui River, in a village called Nueva Eden. It's 6 days to get there when the water's going well, or 45-minute flight.
Wow.
So if somebody's been bit by a snake or other ailment and they need to get someplace quicker, they're
Boat's
dying.
Not going to do it.
We can get out there.
But you can go. I mean, boat going one way is faster than the other way, right?
Oh, certainly. Yeah. the rivers flow north and into the Amazon.
So it's 6 days there, but how long back?
That's the trick. It all depends on how much water is flowing at the time. High water, the river actually rises and lowers 15 to 20 feet.
Really, because of the rain, depending on the rain.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so then how many pastors do you have throughout that area?
Right now we have 10 lay pastors that are working in the various districts.
That's all that this mission has?
That's what Peru Projects is operating.
All right.
The mission itself has quite a number working in these more populated areas. But beyond that, where they can't reach,
right.
How can they get there?
So what kind of population are you talking about for this area?
I really wish I could tell you. There are so many villages that don't even make the maps.
Wow.
So
when you fly over this area and you look down, what do you see?
I see a lot of trees. You'll see huts every once in a while and a lot of water. Year-round, a lot of areas, you'll see the sun glistening as you look down at the trees because there's so much water. It's the Amazon basin.
So it's a big swamp.
In some areas, yeah, definitely.
Like in here, you got those.
Yeah, that's a big reserve.
Oh.
But yeah, there's a lot of swamp area. A lot of houses are up on stilts.
So do you think that there's anybody or any tribes in there that's still unreached?
I know of at least one. But I believe there's probably more. A year ago, a boy walked out of the jungle naked into Puerto Breo from a nomadic tribe. Didn't speak any language that anyone there spoke, and there's 5 languages spoken in that area. And so we know that there's at least one group out there that's still wandering around and do not want to be reached.
Wow.
But they're going to have to hear before Jesus comes back.
So, okay, so there's 2 ways of, classifying reached by civilization and then reached by the gospel.
They don't even want to be reached by civilization.
Wow.
There's we were actually reading about this. A website on Peru, was on Wiki, I think, was talking about the dangers to the native populations. One was the missionaries.
Really?
One were the petroleum drillers, and one were the wood
Cutters.
people. Well, the wood people and the petroleum drillers have money, and they're getting out into these areas. And we want to get there, if at all possible, before they get too far in. They're bringing alcohol. They're bringing womanizing. Just the culture is terrible.
So why are they afraid of the missionaries? Why are these anthropologists want to keep their
They want to keep the culture. They want to keep people in fear. We're not there to change their culture.
Right.
We just want to bring Christ in, and He can clean their culture.
Right.
And I'd prefer that the Ashaninka are still in their kushma. It's actually a more modest dress than everybody else is wearing. But, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, whoops. What are we doing here?
A little bit. Whenever possible, we try to encourage the people to actually build up their own runway so that we can get in there far more efficient with the wheeled plane. We operate 2 airplanes. One is a lake amphibian, which is a boat with wings, and that can get into most of the rivers, but it's more costly to operate. So whenever possible, and it's more dangerous when there's high water too, with the sandbars hidden and logs floating, full trees. 150-foot trees going down the river.
Wow.
You don't want to hit something.
No.
So whenever we can, we try to get a runway built up. So just an example of, these are actually Ashaninka, which is a subtribe of the Ashaninka people, in front of the Cessna 182 that we operate. This people actually came to us a little over a year ago asking for us to come. They built the runway, and then they came to find us.
Wow.
Yeah. So what
was their motivation?
They're looking for help.
Really?
They feel neglected. The government's not reaching out to them. They've gotten enough where they've got a radio. They do have power lines, but no fuel. You know, it's kind of intermixed. But there's so much need, and there's so much fear in their faces too.
Really, because of their belief.
Yeah,
they're animists.
It's an animist religion, and there is no church in this village. There's Catholic, Adventist, evangelical, nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just an example of their culture. This dugout, which is the length of their community building, is full of masato, which is a yucca beer, and that's in preparation for their Primavera festival, their spring festival, where they celebrate the birthdays of all the children in the year and such. And that night, I guarantee you, there were 5- and 7-year-olds walking around drunk. It's just they start at an early age. There's a tremendous coca use, and so
coca being
coca, the leaf that they produce cocaine from.
So they get high on that stuff.
Yeah, they say that they can work without pain or fear.
Really?
And so.
You tried it?
No. My first emergency flight out of there, though, one of the men had his cheek just full of coca leaves, and I thought I knew what he was doing. I asked him to never do that again in the plane.
Oh, really?
But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's sad. So they have a lot to learn, but they reached out to us, and so we know that the Holy Spirit's working.
Right.
So,
right.
Another example of what we do. This is actually in another village. It's a county seat, so they have their own plaza. We went in. Our Bible worker, whenever possible, we try to encourage the church leaders that already exist, and if we can, the youth to go out and take part, so that we can't reach them. I mean, pastors can't finish the work, Bible workers can't finish the work. Everybody needs to be involved. And so we went in with youth, and they cleaned up this plaza, painted it all up nice, and did a civic work there so that the community wanted to come and hear the meetings. So.
Neat.
That was a blessing for them and all involved. Kind of excited about the work that Pastor Ted Wilson has gotten started in the church in general with handing out the Great Controversy to the world. And that's just a picture of what we're doing here. These are boxes full of portions of the Great Controversy. And we're handing out 15,000 of these books to whatever family that has somebody that can read. So we're excited to see how that goes. Just another picture of fixing up the plaza there. And this is the group that we went out to. I actually inaugurated this runway by accident. I didn't know that nobody had landed on there before.
Really?
And they called me, and I went in with the mayor and did a normal landing, and there they are having this big celebration for me being the first to land on their runway.
How cool.
So, yeah. We were also blessed to take part last year. There's been 2 years of record flooding in our area, and thousands losing everything they have, all their crops, everything being washed down river, houses destroyed, just everything lost. And so in conjunction with ADRA, the mission, and the union down there, we were able to take almost 10 tons worth of supplies out, water, rice.
In these kind of boats and stuff?
In boats like this.
It's a motorized boat though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can get upstream.
Yep, it has 2 large outboards on it.
Okay.
And that's a rented boat, but yeah. And that's just
delivery.
That's actually that's delivery. Huge 50 kilo. That's what 104 pound sack of rice. And this is in a high region. You can see there's still the banana plants haven't been washed out.
Wow.
But reaching out across and getting through.
So the elevation change in that area, is it pretty flat, or?
When you're flying over it, it looks flat from all the treetops, but it's quite hilly actually. And there's mountains from time to time up to 6,000 feet.
Oh, really?
That I'll go over.
Okay. Looks like you're doing...
We're doing a medical outreach actually here. I brought a dentist and a doctor out to that actually that village, Menkoriari, that I was talking about. And we were able to, he actually saw 40 patients, excuse me, and then the doctor saw over 300 in the time we were there, just 3 days.
Wow.
And then after that, we left a Bible worker and a pastor then to do a month's worth of evangelism and Bible work and such.
Great.
And the hope is that later this year we can go back in, and then they're going to be hopefully opening up a church there.
Great, fantastic.
So, and after a baptism, we like to give everyone a Bible, of course. So.
And this is the pastor, local
this
pastor?
Is one of the lay pastors. His name is Elvio. He's currently on the Columbia border there in a straight show.
Okay.
Yeah. He could use prayer. His wife is very, very ill. And so.
What's his name again?
Elvio.
Elvio.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, the sacrifice that the local missionaries are putting in is extreme.
Yeah, if people see this like a month or 2 from now, I believe in the prayer is retroactive.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we can pray for them, and the Lord will just shift the time a little bit and make that applicable.
He's able.
Yes.
Just an example of one of the trainings that we do. Not only do we do trainings for our Bible workers, but whenever we can, we go out and do trainings for the village leaders. And so this is a gathering of a whole bunch of village leaders that have come together to learn how they can better serve their community and reach out beyond to the neighboring villages, upriver, whatever.
Very good. So you have good relations with the communities.
We really try, yeah. We've actually, one of the district mayors is now a member of the church.
Oh, really?
And so he actually supported the building of the church in his village.
Nice.
It's really exciting. Yeah.
How did he become an Adventist?
Studying through
Really?
one of the Bible workers.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Never underestimate who is ready by the Holy Spirit.
Right.
And another, it's a portion of the work that we're excited about, is actually providing weddings for the people. The majority of the people, especially in the jungle, but even in the cities, are just living together, and there's no commitment really. And so we actually provide a means for the local people to get married. There's requirements that the government has to get married, and so we try to work through that, and then we afterwards, if they're interested in joining the church, then we hold a mass baptism after the mass wedding.
Mass wedding. How many people are getting married at the same time?
Usually they like to have at least 10 for the mayor to come and
10.
perform the wedding.
Wow.
We've done
Is that how
single
you guys
weddings.
got married? Is that how you got married?
No. Ours was a little different than
Just
than
the two of you.
Yeah, just us.
Okay.
But yeah,
So there's a baptism of some people that just got married.
just got married. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really neat to see the joy on their
So do they
faces,
want to
too.
get married? They just don't have the act. Okay.
After studying and with the Bible worker and realizing, what is truly important, to have a commitment in your family, and the fact that they've been, most of them have all their children already. I mean,
Okay.
we've married couples that have been together for 30 years.
Wow.
But they just want to formalize it.
That, yeah.
And they feel convicted about it, and so we're glad to help.
That's neat.
So
That's neat.
Yeah.
Okay.
just a family receiving their goods.
Okay. So we've
During
got
the flood.
mats.
No, actually, that looks like a whole bunch of noodles.
Okay. That's good.
And water. It's,
Drinking water.
Yeah. When the rivers are high like this, there's all kinds of
Contaminated.
junk. And
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good.
The river knows no bounds. Just a picture of one of the local ladies from a sub-tribe. You can just look at her and see the concern and the worry in her face.
Yeah.
It's typical.
Wow.
So
So you can see a difference when you look into somebody's eyes. You can see who's Christian and who's not.
to a degree, especially when you get further out like these villages are, you can tell they don't know.
So it actually makes a difference.
Oh, the gospel always makes a difference. Yeah, we're not there to change their culture, change their way of dress, but we do want to introduce Jesus. And then he can make the changes that are necessary and leave things that are good the way they are.
So when Jesus comes in, like if she learned about Jesus, the facial expression of fear, how would you've seen that change before?
To see it personally over time, the eyes would brighten up. I don't know how to say it. People are more free to smile. You have a joy in your heart, and it's like when you're walking down the street and somebody looks at you and you're smiling. People will ask you, "What are you happy about?" It's just a complete change in the life.
Yeah.
And we all need it. In the city, we need it. In the village, we need it.
Right.
So,
That's neat. Okay.
more medical outreach. You can see she's just happy to have attention.
Do they speak Spanish?
She doesn't. I know that for a fact. The gentleman sitting beside her speaks some Spanish.
Okay.
Their
he's
main
like an
language is actually Ashaninka.
Ashanik. Okay. So he's like an interpreter then for you.
He's actually one of the leaders in the village, in the head family.
What's this orange stuff she has on her face?
It's tribal paint. I've tried to figure out what exactly they mean, because if you look at some, they'll have dots, 1 dot, 2 dots, stripes. I haven't figured it out. I do know that when the first time I landed in this particular village, they were black and red. And you can see now in the pictures they're wearing red. Black, I found out. I asked what these things were. This is from berries. The other came from alkaline batteries. And they were wiping the acid across their cheeks to make the warp paint or the marks.
Oh my goodness.
So when I explained to them how bad that was for their health, I was just praising God when I stepped out of the plane the next time I came back for an emergency, and and everybody was in red.
Red only.
Yeah.
Black is out this season.
Yeah, black is out this season. Yeah. So anyhow.
Okay. So tell me how you guys got involved with this project.
We had been training to go into missions and mission aviation specifically. And back in '99, we had gone to a GO conference. I don't know if anybody had heard of that.
Gospel Outreach?
No, it's actually the church for a short while was holding foreign mission conferences.
Really?
And we weren't even baptized yet, but we went to this GO conference.
You were married at that time?
No, I was actually seeing another girl.
Oh, okay.
And it was her parents that invited us to go.
Really?
And we were truly blessed and convicted. And I knew leaving that conference that God had called me to specifically be a missionary in the Adventist church.
Wow.
I was yet to be baptized, but He was
Wow.
preparing the way.
And how did you come into this then?
My interest in missions started in the same place with the GO conference. Before that, I really had no idea what a missionary was.
Wow.
But that conference was very inspiring, hearing the testimonies of the other missionaries, and it just hit me that that was something worthwhile to do with my life. And I thought, someday I may be a missionary.
Nice.
And then when we were talking about getting married, we talked quite extensively about it and decided that that's what we would do after we were married.
Nice. So you've been married for how long now?
Just 6.5 years.
And how long have you been over in Peru?
3 years.
Okay. So, what is your background then? What did you take in college?
Just generals for the most part. I did a couple technical programs that I never wound up using afterward, but had some good experiences during that time in school.
Band instrument repair and guitar building.
Really?
That's
really?
what she trained in. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Those are excellent skills in the.
She's good with her hands, actually.
Yeah. So, like, what do you do during the day? Give us a typical day for both of you.
Wake up around 5 o'clock and have devotions and study, pray, get breakfast ready, run off to the office. We need to get back to a morning meeting together with the rest of our staff. Things have been very hectic the last couple months, and that sort of
we will
dropped
get
off.
back on that when we get back. And then she does bookkeeping, and so it's not her favorite thing, but we do what we have to do, right?
Is it anybody's favorite thing?
We know people that enjoy the numbers,
Really?
but she does a good job. She spends half the day at the computer then, taking care of that side of things. Once we get over to the office, I do whatever needs to be done. Lately, I've been doing a lot of work with proving customs in an import agency, but it really depends. I could spend 2 days straight fixing our 50-year-old tractor, or I could be called to an emergency flight and end up in a village or heading to and from a village for half the day, or paperwork, whatever needs to be done.
Okay.
You join missions, you join a full work.
Yes, it exercises all parts of your skill set.
You don't get bored.
No. That's actually one of the taglines I want to use for Mission TV. Don't die bored.
Amen.
So then, what are your biggest needs? What do you see as the biggest needs for your project and for the people that you're trying to minister to?
I guess it's twofold. We could sure use more people. We have dreams of really amplifying the medical outreach. And we've talked to some people recently just here about some potential, and we're excited about that. But we'd love to have somebody that really knows how to do that. Potentially, maybe agricultural training that could be brought to the villages. Right now, when it's flooding, the people are eating fish and nothing but fish. So it's not a very diverse diet.
Yeah.
And then there's always a need for finance. Realistically, we have 3 districts that we would really love to be operating. The jungle is so large, and there's so many people on all these little rivers. And like we talked, it's so far out there to get from one place to another for our Bible workers to reach out there, or even village leaders it's an impossibility. And so to be able to send more workers into the field, we ask for people to pray that, like Jesus said, pray for more workers to enter the field.
So what's the cost of a Bible worker?
All inclusive for a district is actually right around $350 per month, and you're covering quite a few churches and training and evangelism. And
so what do you mean by quite a few churches? Like their financial needs as well, or?
Well, because he's acting as pastor, we have currently active, I believe, 53 churches, and then there's other groups and congregations. So to get materials out to all of them, Bible studies, the mission helps us out with that, but
so
just everything that's involved,
right?
I mean, because transportation and everything else.
It's about the price of a car payment. You can sponsor.
Or if you just want to give the price of a coffee at Starbucks, that'll sure help. So
yeah, $7 will go a long ways.
Is $7 now?
I don't know.
We've been gone too long.
I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, I know it's that much in Indonesia, but I don't know what it is. I don't go to Starbucks in America. Taco Bell, I can tell you the menu, but you know. So okay, so what if somebody wanted to come down and volunteer? How would they get in touch with you if they wanted to donate some funds? How would they?
Well, we have a website, www.peruprojects.com.
That's good. That's easy.
And then you can contact me personally. It's info, short for information, info@peruprojects.com.
There you go.
So that's simple. The website also has a donate online, or you can go to the OCI website, and there's more information there too.
And your project's listed on the OCI website?
Yep, under members.
Which is outpostcenters.org?
Correct.
Okay, outpostcenters.org. And anything specific there that they have to, they just search for you?
Just look for members. There's a top bar that says members.
Okay.
And then ministries.
Well, ministries, perhaps it is. Right?
Okay.
And then under that, the easiest way to find us is go to South America. They have it divided several ways. You go to South America, and then there's Peru Project.
Okay. All right. Very good. So do you see yourself there for the rest of your lives?
Until Jesus says otherwise.
Okay.
There's so much to be done, and there's such a need.
Yeah.
And as we've said, the workers are few. So.
How do you feel when you come back here and you see the resources here?
It's really incredible. There's so much that could be done for what is thrown at fast food or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you can really make such a difference in the world. It's sad, but it's the times we live in.
Right. All right, well, we'll keep praying. And again, it's Chris and Amy, and thank you so much for being on the show with us and sharing your heart. I can tell that, I can see the passion in your eyes. And we'll keep praying for Chris and Amy and your Peru projects. Again, peruprojects.com. peruprojects.com, you can get more information. You can contact them there or through the OCI website, outpostcenters.org. Thank you so much for joining us here from the Leadership Training Retreat of the Outpost Centers International camp here at Cohutta Springs, Georgia. God bless, and we'll see you next time.